everybody, Glenn Hausman here for No Vacancy News, brought to you by SkyTouch, the industry's leading cloud-based PMS. I'm with Mary Beth Cutshall of HVMG, where she serves as the Chief Business Development Officer. Mary Beth, so great to see you.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So one of the things that needs to be talked about, but I also hate talking about it, is women empowerment and gender equality, because I almost feel like it's kind of pandering, but it's not. But yet, as a getting older white guy, I feel really weird about the whole situation.
I don't think you're alone in that. And it's unfortunate we have to talk about it, but I think it's an important conversation to have because it is timely with everything that's going on in our country right now. So I am more than happy to talk to you about it, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. All right, one of the things that I've seen is, fortunately, over the last few years, especially at male-dominated financial conferences, I've seen a lot more women at the table. But not to say that we're, been around a long time, but you used to be one of the few women I would see at these things. That must have been difficult and awkward for you at that time. And how did you maneuver that weird social strata that you were in?
You know, it's interesting. My father was a jet fighter pilot, and he always brought me and my sisters up to kind of go for things, right? So I think it's part of that. It's part of being raised by parents in a family where I was encouraged to go after what I was trying to achieve. I think it's partly that. I think some of it was a bit naivety too, because I was just trying to accomplish my goals and trying to develop my career, and I was curious about the industry, and I maybe just didn't see some of the bias or ignored it perhaps. But I think a lot of it was driven by the fact that I love what I do. And I think that resonated with people. And it was really about what can you accomplish and what can you produce, and then you gain the credibility in their eyes, and they look at you as a colleague, not as what's your gender anymore.
What's it like now in the world, and where are we at for you helping women find their pathway to success in our amazing business?
Well, I think it's a great question. So I always said to myself, if I ever got to a place in my career where I could have an influence and I could try to create a different environment than perhaps what I walked into, because quite frankly, I was an only, and I was an only for a long time. And through the Castell Project that Peggy Berg founded, I'm a board member, an active board member with, I think we've created a conversation in the industry. It's become a catalyst. And the Castell Project is about developing women leaders in hospitality, creating a cohort, a forum, twice a year where high potential women can come in and learn core competencies and develop their skill set so they can accomplish and be very successful leaders in hospitality. And through that effort, women have started to connect with each other. They've started to build relationships. As you can see, it still is very thin, but now we found each other. Now we have support. Now we have conversations. Now we don't feel as much as we used to, like I used to, the only. If there's a question about a legal question, I have a friend and a colleague I can reach out to, whether it's HR operations. And I think the younger generation is definitely seeing that. So I'm thrilled that I can be part of it, because in a way it's an opportunity to give back and create a different environment for the future generation of our industry.
Now, I was speaking with Dorothy Dowling, who's Chief Marketing Officer with Best Western Hotels and Resorts, about this particular issue recently, and she pointed out that the Castell Project is really focused on what you were saying, real issues, not issues related to being a woman. So it's more just about networking and working together to find common success, as opposed to focusing on an issue that I hope is not really relevant as much anymore.
I think so. I mean, it talks about negotiating. All genders, both genders.
I was about to say, can I get involved in that? I could use that.
Both genders negotiate, right? But there are some nuances that are specific to how do women negotiate, and how are they perceived, and what could be an unconscious bias they may have to deal with, and how do they navigate around that? And it's very helpful when you're able to talk to women who are a little bit further down the path, that have more experience and can give some advice, can give some insight in what they did to be successful with that. Personal branding, negotiation, all these things, it doesn't matter if you're a man or you're a woman, we all have these things that we have to face and deal with and master. And so I think she's right in many ways, but I think the little bit of the nuance, the difference is that it's a safe forum for women to be talking about their unique challenges and how they handle that.
One of the things that frustrates me is I've been kicking around this business for 20 plus years right now, and I just wish all men do things the right way. And I still find that they're doing things the old way, which is irresponsible and just downright disrespectful in a lot of times.
For example, what do you mean? Yeah.
Just the way that men and women relate to each other in the business sense, right?
Sure.
So my question is to you is, in this new era that we're in, I still feel like women have to be responsible for this. Why isn't there more people saying, no, dudes, you're the ones that have to change too?
Well, I think it takes all of us, right?
Yeah.
So if I need to set the tone of a meeting, then I'm happy to do that, right? But there are a lot of guys that do step up. And so I just think it's a collaborative effort.
Yep.
I think we all have to do it until it's no longer an issue. So I think if we look towards the solution, then we're going to get a lot farther in accomplishing keeping it on an even playing field.
Great, and I really hope that's where we're headed right now, because I am just over it. I just, we should all just be doing this together. Together we can find mutual success. Yeah. And I got to tell you, I was a little uncomfortable with this conversation, but thanks for having it with me, because I think if I learn a lot, the viewers learn a lot too.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me as well, Glenn. Appreciate it.
So for Mary Beth, myself, Glenn, thanks for watching No Vacancy News.
Thank you.